Hello and welcome to my first Allegro C++ tutorial. Um, Allegro is the game making part in C++ when you're using the dev C++ compiler. So I recommend you watch some basic C++ tutorials of mine, or the New Boston has some good C++ tutorials as well. So let's go ahead and open Allegro. You go to File, New, Project, and you click on Windows Application. Let's say we want to name it Basic Text, and you make sure C++ project is selected. Click OK, and you will see this pop up. You click on Save, go to Project, Project Options, Parameters, and you'll see something called Linker. You click Add Library or Object, and you click on the folder called lib, and then you're going to click on liballeg.a. You click OK. So now we're in Allegro. Let's go ahead and make the basic program that we wanted to make. First, you have to include the Allegro.h folder, and that's how you pretty much open the whole Allegro thing. And then you get an integer, for example, integer x is equal to 10 and integer y is equal to 10. This is just something basic. We've learned what integers can do. So you go to int main, and this is the function, and in this function we're going to be seeing how we can use these two integers that we set and how they can be useful in Allegro. So let's just say Allegro init. This is something that you have to know and memorize. When you're making an Allegro project, you always have to put Allegro init. This is almost saying, yes, I am in Allegro in it. And then you can set the color depth. Set color depth to 16. We have different numbers that you can put between these two parentheses. You can put 32, but we're just going to put 16. And I'll explain later on what these numbers mean. But then after that, we want to install the keyboard, because the project that we're going to be making, you can call it, I guess, a game, is going to have a keyboard option for the user to move the thing around the screen. So install the keyboard, set the GFX mode, in other words the graphics mode, GFX auto detect. This is something that you have to know, and we're going to put windowed. The reason I'm putting windowed is because I don't want it to be a full screen. Windowed allows it not to be a full screen. 640, 480, 00. This is picking the size of the screen you want it, and I'll explain what those numbers mean later on. So we learned different types of loops, and we're just gonna put while key. Again, this can be a bit confusing, but watch. Key escape. What we're doing now is we're telling the compiler, okay, so if the user presses the key escape, we want it to completely shut down the game, and that's the way they can escape from it. So we're going to put clear buff. What this means is, again, if you don't know what this means, I advise that after you watch this video, you study what each one of these codes that I entered, what they mean, and this will help you a lot in Allegro. Clear the key buff, actually, is something that deals with memory of the past previous keys pressed. And in Allegro, you want to put acquire the screen before you actually enter your code for the game. Again, these are all things that I entered, and before the actually putting the actual text that we're going to be making. Acquire the screen is almost something that says, okay, now let's go ahead and open the screen so that the game can start. So text out ex, this is what you put to insert text in Allegro. So let's just say text out, and after you do that, you have to put the screen, the font. Again, this is required. You put screen, font, and that's where the font will be. And then after that, you put the two integers that we set, x and y, and you make the colors. Making the colors of these things, I will show you how they work. The first right here, before the first comma, this color is red, and then the second one, this color is green, and the third one is blue. So if you put any number here, it's just going to combine the mixture of that color red, for example, and right here it's going to combine a mixture of that color green, and then so and so. And that's for the text. And you will have a second make color. This is going to be for the background. Once again, the same things apply for the background. Make the color. This is red, this is green, and this is blue, and you can choose any mixtures of that you want. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and go to our if-else statements. So if the user selects the key up, this is how you put the key options. Something else that you have to memorize. This is how it is: key, and then put a brace, key up, minus minus y. So what we told the compiler is that if they press the up key, I wanted to subtract the value of y to 9. So else if the user presses the key down, I wanted to add from the value of y, so it goes up to 11. You're thinking, shouldn't it be the other way around? But you'll see at the end what it does. If the key that they pressed is the left key, then I wanted to subtract from x. And else if the key that they pressed is right key, then I wanted to add from x. And after we've done that, let's just copy this right here, because we're going to use that again. Paste it right here. So I should do this, and we're just going to enter a basic letter. Let's say M. Sorry, not N, I want M. Okay, so now that we entered a letter, we can set the color of it. Let's say we want it to be red, and let's just put 255, because remember, the first one is red, the second is green, the third is blue. And remember, we put the acquire screen right here. After that, at the end of your program, you have to put release the screen, and we want to put a rest in there. What the rest does, it tells you what speed the game is going to be moving at. So the lower the rest, the faster the speed. So let's put rest 8, and we want to close our bracket from the while loop, return 0, and we want to put a bracket because we're closing the int main function, and then we want to put end of main after each C++ project that we make. So let's go ahead and try to compile this. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. You want to save it as whatever you called it back then. I think I called it basic text, and you want to save it as that. So save, and here it is. As you can see, I don't know why it's dragging that line. Hang on a second, let me just fix that quickly. It's probably because I did that. Compile and run, and now it's moving normal. So as you can see, I'm going right, it goes right, left, it's going left, up, and down. This is how you make basic things in Allegro. Do study this video, and go ahead and try to memorize the things that we learned right here, the Allegro in it. Set the color depth, install the keyboard, set the graphics mode. You would need to memorize that, and I would also review the acquiring the screen and releasing the screen. All those things you need to memorize and learn, study well, before you go any farther in making games in Allegro. And thanks for watching my tutorial. Thank you.